Alicia grew up in a humble home, but it was filled with love and encouragement. Her parents, Mrs. Marta and Mr. George, always taught her the value of hard work and education. "You can be whatever you want, Alicia," Mr. George would say while helping her with her homework. Despite their limited resources, they did everything possible to support their daughter's curiosity and passion for learning. From an early age, Alicia demonstrated a thirst for knowledge that impressed everyone. At school, she was known for her dedication and for always having a book in her hands. Financial difficulties were many, but she didn't let that dampen her enthusiasm for studies. "Mom, I want to be the best student in the class," Alicia once said. "You already are, my daughter. Just believe in yourself," replied Mrs. Marta with an encouraging smile. One of the most memorable moments of Alicia's childhood was when she received her first book as a gift from her teacher. "This book is for you, Alicia. Keep being like this," said the teacher, handing her the gift. It meant a lot to her, as books were a luxury her family couldn't afford. "This is just the beginning, girl," the teacher affirmed. With her eyes shining with happiness, Alicia promised herself that one day she would have a library at home. In her neighborhood, Alicia was a role model for other children. She always encouraged her friends to study and not give up on their dreams. Her collaborative spirit and natural leadership began to stand out early on. "Alicia, will you help me with this lesson?" a friend would ask. "Of course," she would respond, ready to help. Life was not easy, and often the basics were missing at home. But the love and support of her parents always kept her strong. Alicia knew that education was the key to a better life and dedicated herself wholeheartedly to her studies. On weekends, she would visit the public library, where she spent hours immersed in books. "What are you going to read today, Alicia?" the librarian would ask. "Everything I can," she would reply enthusiastically. The support and guidance of Alicia's parents were crucial for her development. They taught her never to give up, even when things seemed difficult. "The road is long, but you'll get there," Mrs. Marta would repeat as she watched her daughter devour library books. "I know, Mom. I'll make you proud," Alicia would respond determinedly. Besides her studies, Alicia always found time to help at home. On weekends, she helped Mr. George in the small garden they had in the backyard. "Every effort counts," he would say. "Yes, Dad, and every harvest reminds us of that," she would reply, learning the value of hard work and perseverance, lessons she would carry throughout her life. Despite the adversities, Alicia never lost hope. She dreamed big and knew the future held great things for her. "One day, I'll repay all of this to you," Alicia promised her parents. "We know you will, my daughter," her parents replied, full of pride. During her teenage years, Alicia excelled academically and participated in various extracurricular activities. At school, she was known not only for her high grades, but also for her involvement in clubs and competitions. "Did you see? Alicia won another award," her classmates would comment, impressed. "She's amazing," others would agree. Her dedication led her to be the first in her family to attend college, a milestone that brought both pride and responsibility. "Mom, Dad, I did it. I got accepted into college," Alicia announced, her eyes filled with tears of emotion. Mrs. Marta and Mr. George hugged her tightly, tears of happiness streaming down. "We knew you could do it, dear," said Mr. George, moved. "We're so proud of you," added Mrs. Marta. To sustain her studies, Alicia earned scholarships and part-time jobs, demonstrating her resilience and determination. "I'll be working at the corner cafe after classes," she told her parents. "Are you sure you can handle everything?" asked Mrs. Marta, concerned. "Yes, Mom. I need to do this to continue my studies," Alicia replied firmly. Alicia balanced her studies with her part-time job, often sacrificing her nights of sleep to manage all her responsibilities. "Do you ever sleep, Alicia?" joked a classmate. "Sleep is a luxury I can't afford right now," she would reply with a determined smile. Her dedication was an example to everyone around her. In college, Alicia quickly stood out. Her professors noticed her commitment and passion for learning. "Alicia, you have a bright future ahead of you," said the biology professor after a class. "Thank you, Professor. I'm giving it my all," she replied, feeling motivated. Every compliment reinforced her determination to achieve her dreams. Despite all the difficulties, Alicia never gave up. "We're so proud of you, dear," Mr. George would say every time she came home with another achievement. "Thank you, Dad. All of this is for you," she would respond, grateful for the constant support. She knew that every sacrifice was worth it. After graduating with honors, Alicia faced the harsh reality of the job market. "Congratulations on your graduation, Alicia," her friends said. "Thanks, everyone. Now the real challenge begins," she replied, feeling a mix of excitement and apprehension. Facing constant rejections, often due to her skin color, she struggled to find an opportunity that would allow her to demonstrate her value and dedication. Alicia meticulously prepared resumes and cover letters. "I'm sure I'll find something soon," she would tell herself, trying to maintain her confidence. However, the interviews were disappointing. "I'm sorry, but we've decided to go with another candidate," she heard multiple times. Racial discrimination was a significant obstacle, but she did not give up. "I'll keep trying. Someone will recognize my worth," she promised herself. During one of the interviews, the recruiter looked her up and down disdainfully. "Are you sure you're qualified for this position?" he asked skeptically. "Yes, I am. My education and experience have prepared me well for this role," Alicia replied firmly. "We'll see," he said, not hiding his prejudice. These experiences were frustrating, but Alicia used each rejection as motivation to keep going. Alicia began seeking advice from mentors and former professors. "The market is tough, but you have potential," said her biology professor. "Thank you, Professor. I'll keep trying," she replied, grateful for the support. She also attended job fairs and workshops, always looking for opportunities and networking. Every connection could be a chance, she thought. At a networking event, Alicia met a businessman who seemed interested in her story. "Tell me more about your experiences," he asked attentively. Alicia shared her academic achievements and her determination. "You have a lot to offer. Let's see if we can find something in my company," he said, giving Alicia renewed hope. Despite the renewed hopes, the doors continued to close. "Don't give up, Alicia," said Mrs. Marta. "I know it's hard, but you're strong," added Mr. George. "Thank you, Mom. Thank you, Dad. I'll keep going," Alicia replied, finding strength in her parents' words. She knew that each attempt brought her a little closer to her goal. Alicia also decided to invest in online courses to enhance her skills. "Knowledge is never too much," she told herself. She spent nights studying new tools and techniques, always seeking to stand out in the market. "I'll be prepared when the opportunity arises," she thought determinedly. Finally, after months of relentless searching, Alicia received a phone call. "We'd like to schedule an interview for next week," said the voice on the other end of the line. "Of course. I'll be there," Alicia replied, feeling a wave of hope and relief. She knew that this could be the opportunity she had fought so hard for, and she was ready to show her worth. Alicia finally got an opportunity at a small company. "Congratulations, Alicia. You got the job," said the recruiter over the phone. "Thank you so much. I'm very happy," she replied with a broad smile. Starting at her new job, she quickly stood out, demonstrating impeccable work ethics and exceptional problem-solving skills. From the first day, Alicia showed her dedication. "Alicia, can you review these reports?" asked her boss. "Sure. I'll have them on your desk today," she replied. Her performance caught the attention of her superiors, and she became a valued employee for her leadership and strategic vision. "Your work is flawless, Alicia," praised the manager. "Thank you. I'm here to contribute in the best way possible," she said, pleased. Alicia got along well with her colleagues, always ready to help and learn. "Alicia, can you give me a hand with this spreadsheet?" a colleague asked. "Of course," she responded promptly. Her collaborative attitude and technical knowledge quickly earned her respect. "You really know your stuff," commented the colleague, impressed. Despite some initial adaptation difficulties, Alicia never let the challenges discourage her. With each obstacle overcome, she felt more confident. "You did very well in that presentation," said her boss after an important meeting. "Thank you. I'm glad it was helpful," she replied, happy. A memorable moment was when Alicia solved a complex problem that had baffled the team for weeks. "Alicia, how did you do that?" asked a colleague, amazed. "I just analyzed the problem from a new perspective," she replied modestly. This innovative solution not only highlighted her competence but also her ability to think outside the box. Over time, Alicia was given more responsibilities. "We're thinking of promoting you to a supervisory position," said the manager in a meeting. "It would be an honor," Alicia replied, surprised and grateful for the trust placed in her. This promotion was a well-deserved recognition of all her effort and dedication. The new position brought additional challenges, but Alicia was prepared. "Now you have a team to lead," said the manager. "I'm ready for the challenge," she replied with determination. Leading a team was a great responsibility, and Alicia dedicated herself to being a fair and inspiring leader. With her growing recognition, Alicia received offers from other companies and accepted an offer from a large corporation. "I'm excited for this new phase," Alicia said as she shared the news with her parents. "We knew you would go far, dear," said Mrs. Marta, proud. "This is just the beginning," added Mr. George. However, the transition was not easy. "Welcome to the team, Alicia," said the new manager. "Thank you. I'm eager to start," she replied. Along with new responsibilities, she faced humiliation and discrimination due to her skin color, making the work environment even more challenging. Does she really have the capability for this? She overheard someone murmuring in the hallway. Alicia quickly realized she would have to prove her worth once again. "I'll show everyone what I'm capable of," she thought. Her determination made her double her efforts to stand out. The first few months were particularly difficult. Alicia felt the pressure to adapt to a competitive and often hostile environment. "Why are they like this with me?" she confided to a closer colleague. "Unfortunately, prejudice still exists, but you'll overcome it," the colleague replied, trying to cheer her up. She used these adversities as motivation to excel. In addition to her daily responsibilities, Alicia sought to get involved in projects that could highlight her skills. "Can we count on you to lead this new initiative?" the project manager asked. "Of course, I'm in," she replied, accepting the challenge. Her ability to lead and solve problems soon began to stand out, despite the difficulties. Discrimination continued in subtle forms, with some glances here and there, but Alicia never allowed it to stop her progress. "You'll never get that promotion," a colleague taunted. "We'll see," she replied, maintaining her calm and focus. Every negative comment was transformed into fuel for her determination. "My work will speak for itself," she thought. Alicia found support among some colleagues who believed in her potential. "You're an inspiration to many here," a colleague said during lunch. "Thank you. That means a lot to me," Alicia replied, touched. These moments of support helped her continue fighting against prejudice and show her true capability. Despite the obstacles, Alicia began to gain the recognition she deserved. "Your work on the last project was exceptional," praised the manager during a meeting. "Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be part of this team," she replied, feeling valued. These compliments were proof that her efforts were being acknowledged. Soon, Alicia was assigned to a major project. "Alicia, this is a crucial project for us," said the manager, handing her the documentation. "I'm ready for the challenge," she replied, feeling the pressure. The pressure was intense, with tight deadlines and a highly competitive environment. "Let's give our best, team," Alicia encouraged, trying to keep morale high. In every meeting, Alicia demonstrated her knowledge and leadership skills. "We need to adjust the schedule to meet the deadlines," she said in a team meeting. "Are you sure we can do it?" asked a team member, unsure. "Yes, with organization and focus, we can," she replied confidently. Her optimism helped keep the team motivated despite the obstacles. Discrimination and humiliations at work continued to be a daily challenge. "She's only here because of quotas," a colleague murmured. Alicia heard it but chose not to respond. "My work will prove my worth," she thought. She focused on delivering results, knowing that her competence was the best response to any prejudice. During a meeting with the board, Alicia presented the initial stages of the project. "Your analysis is very detailed, Alicia," commented one of the directors. "Thank you. We are working hard to ensure success," she replied professionally. These approvals were essential to demonstrate her capability and earn more respect within the company. The pressure affected Alicia, but she found ways to cope with the stress. "Let's grab a coffee and take a breather," she suggested to the team. "We need a break," everyone agreed. These small actions helped maintain cohesion and team spirit, essential to facing daily challenges. Alicia's dedication began to pay off. "Alicia, your reports are the best we've seen," praised the project manager. "I'm glad to hear that. We are giving our best," she replied, proud of the recognition. These compliments showed that her work was being noticed and valued, giving her the strength to keep going. The challenges didn't stop there. Alicia had to deal with the pressure of deadlines and the competitiveness of the work environment. "We have to deliver everything by Friday," reminded the manager in a meeting. "We'll make it. Let's divide the tasks and work together," Alicia planned, coordinating the team. Alicia quickly realized the importance of navigating the company's internal politics. "Here, knowing how to deal with people is just as important as the work itself," advised a veteran colleague. "Thanks for the advice. I'll keep that in mind," Alicia replied. Building alliances and maintaining her integrity were crucial for surviving in an environment where discrimination was still a reality. Alicia began to identify who her allies and enemies were within the company. "Heather, can I count on your support for this project?" Alicia asked an influential colleague. "Of course, Alicia. You can count on me," Heather replied with a smile. Alicia knew that building these alliances was essential to strengthen her position and face challenges. In important meetings, Alicia spoke with confidence. "We need to consider this new approach," she suggested during a strategic discussion. "I agree with Alicia," Heather said, validating her idea. These moments were crucial for gaining credibility and demonstrating her value. "Thanks, Heather. Let's make this happen," Alicia replied, determined. However, discrimination did not completely disappear. "She's only getting this because of her alliances," murmured a colleague. Alicia heard it but chose to focus on her work. "My performance will speak for me," she thought. She strived to show that her achievements were the result of competence and effort, not favors. Alicia also learned the importance of maintaining integrity in a competitive environment. "Never compromise your values." She remembered her father's words. "I will always do what is right," she promised herself. This stance helped her gain respect and trust from both colleagues and superiors. "You are a fair leader," praised a subordinate. "Thank you. That means a lot to me," Alicia replied, grateful. In addition to alliances, Alicia sought the support of superiors who believed in her potential. "I need your support for this project," she told the operations director. "You have my full support," he replied. This support was essential for navigating political challenges and ensuring the success of her projects. "Thank you. I will do my best," Alicia affirmed. Alicia also made a point to support her colleagues, creating a more collaborative work environment. "How can I help you with this task?" she asked a colleague. "Thank you, Alicia. Your help is always welcome," he replied. These gestures strengthened relationships and showed that Alicia was a leader who valued teamwork. "We are all in this together," she would often say. In moments of greater pressure, Alicia found strength in her faith. "My faith sustains me," she thought, seeking solace in prayer. The local church and religious community became a refuge for her. "We are praying for you, Alicia," said the pastor, offering support. "Thank you, Pastor. That means a lot to me," she replied, feeling strengthened. Every Sunday, Alicia attended services and felt a renewed sense of purpose. "Alicia, how are things at work?" asked a friend from church. "It's been difficult, but my faith keeps me strong," she replied. The church community offered not only spiritual but also emotional support. "Alicia, we are praying for you," said an elderly lady from the congregation. "Thank you. You are like family to me," Alicia responded, moved. These bonds reinforced her sense of belonging and helped her stay focused. At a youth meeting at the church, Alicia shared her story of overcoming challenges. "I've faced many difficulties, but faith has kept me strong," she told the group. "You are an inspiration," a young person replied. Sharing her experiences helped not only to strengthen her own faith but also to inspire others. In addition to seeking strength in faith, Alicia also offered her support to others. "I'm here for whatever you need," she said to church members. Her willingness to help was a way of giving back the support she received. "You have a generous heart," praised a friend. "It's my way of saying thank you," Alicia replied with a smile. During the most intense weeks at work, Alicia turned to the religious community for guidance. "I'm facing a big challenge," she confessed to the pastor. "God is with you, Alicia. Trust in his plans," he replied. These words comforted and gave her hope. "I know I can overcome anything with faith," she thought, feeling renewed. Alicia began to receive recognition for her exceptional work. "Alicia, can we talk for a moment?" the manager called. "Of course, I'm available," she replied, a bit apprehensive. In the manager's office, she was surprised with praise. "Your performance on the last project was amazing. You really exceeded our expectations," he said. Alicia, moved, thanked him. "Thank you. I'm happy to contribute," she replied, feeling a weight lifted off her shoulders. Her superiors noticed her skills and commitment to customer satisfaction. "Alicia, you have a special talent for finding solutions," praised another director during a meeting. "I'm glad to hear that. Solving problems is one of the things I enjoy most about my job," she replied, smiling. Each recognition was a confirmation that all the effort and sacrifice were worth it. Recognition came not only from direct superiors but also from team colleagues. "Alicia, you always have great ideas. Your leadership is inspiring," said a colleague after a successful presentation. "Thank you. I believe we work better when we collaborate," she replied, valuing the team spirit. These words of encouragement were essential to keeping her motivation high. In addition to praise, Alicia began to be considered for professional development opportunities within the company. "We would like you to participate in a leadership program," announced HR. "It would be an honor," Alicia replied, excited. These opportunities were seen as recognition of her potential and an investment in her future at the company. "This is just the beginning," she thought, excited about the prospects. Each achievement was celebrated not only at work but also at home. "Mom, Dad, I've been nominated for a leadership program at the company," Alicia said, beaming. "We knew you would be recognized," said Mrs. Marta, proud. "We're very happy for you," added Mr. George. These celebrations reinforced how far she had come and the importance of family support in her journey. Alicia also stood out in initiatives beyond her daily responsibilities. "Would you like to lead the new innovation project?" asked the operations director. "Yes, I'd love to," she replied, ready for another challenge. Her proactivity and leadership skills were crucial in making her a key figure in the company. "Every project is a chance to learn something new," she reflected. However, Alicia faced a major obstacle with the new manager who joined the company, Mrs. Lipton. On her first day, Mrs. Lipton mistook Alicia for the cleaning lady. "Can you clean this area later?" Mrs. Lipton asked without even looking at Alicia properly. "Sorry, but I'm Alicia, the project leader," Alicia replied indignantly. The humiliation was immediate, and Alicia felt disrespected. This initial situation created a tense atmosphere between the two. Alicia could no longer endure the constant humiliations and decided to give Mrs. Lipton a moral lesson. "I will not accept being disrespected because of my skin color," Alicia stated in a moment of confrontation. "I hope this never happens again." Alicia's firm stance surprised the manager but also sparked a resentment that Mrs. Lipton began to harbor. Mrs. Lipton started to incessantly criticize Alicia's achievements, trying to minimize her work at all costs. "Alicia, we need to talk about the report," Mrs. Lipton would often say in a disapproving tone. "Of course, I'm available," Alicia would reply, trying to understand where she was going wrong. However, The manager's criticisms often seemed unfair and prejudiced. The racial discrimination from the manager made the work environment toxic. "She always finds something wrong with what I do," Alicia confided to a colleague. "This is clearly unfair. You should talk to HR," her friend suggested. Alicia knew she needed to do something but feared the repercussions. "I'll think about it. Thanks for the advice," she replied, feeling torn. In an important meeting, Mrs. Lipton made a point of devaluing one of Alicia's ideas. "I don't think this will work," the manager said, dismissing the proposal without a fair analysis. "But I believe this approach could yield good results," Alicia insisted calmly. "We'll go with another suggestion," Mrs. Lipton concluded, leaving no room for debate. Alicia felt increasingly frustrated but knew she needed to maintain her composure. The constant attacks began to affect Alicia's confidence. "Am I really doing a good job?" she questioned herself. Conversations with friends and family became her refuge. "You're excellent at what you do. Don't let her bring you down," Mrs. Marta said over the phone. "Thank you, Mom. It's hard, but I'll try to stay strong," Alicia replied, seeking the strength to continue. Alicia decided to seek help from the Human Resources Department. "I'd like to talk about some concerns with my manager," she said, scheduling a meeting. "We're here to help," the HR representative replied. Alicia reported the discrimination and humiliation she had been facing. "We'll investigate this seriously," they assured. This gave her a sense of relief and hope. Meanwhile, Alicia continued to excel at her work despite the adversities. "Your report is excellent, Alicia," praised a colleague from another team. "Thank you. I'm glad you liked it," she replied with a smile. These moments of recognition were essential to maintaining her motivation. "I need to remember my worth," she thought, determined not to let Mrs. Lipton shake her confidence. The situation reached a critical point when Alicia was publicly humiliated in a team meeting. "This is unacceptable," she thought, deciding she could no longer tolerate it. "I need to do something to change this," she told herself. She scheduled another meeting with HR and presented concrete evidence of Mrs. Lipton's discriminatory behavior. HR took Alicia's accusations seriously and initiated a formal investigation. "We will follow up on this closely," they promised. Alicia felt a weight being lifted off her shoulders. "Finally, I am being heard," she thought. Over time, Alicia began to feel the effects of stress. "I'm overloading myself," she thought at the end of yet another exhausting day. Mrs. Lipton's expectations seemed increasingly irrational. "Alicia, I need you to stay late to finish this report," the manager ordered. "But I already have a commitment," Alicia tried to argue. "That's not my problem," Mrs. Lipton cut her off. Alicia sought support among her colleagues, who were also facing difficulties with the management. They began to plan a joint approach to expose the issues to HR. "We can't let this continue," they asserted. Despite Mrs. Lipton's constant rejections, Alicia did not lose hope. "I'll keep doing my best," she thought. She used each negative response as a push to further improve her performance. Alicia found support from her colleagues and supervisor, Mrs. Carter, who encouraged her not to give up. "Alicia, your work is incredible. Don't let Mrs. Lipton discourage you," Mrs. Carter said during a break. "Thank you. Your words mean a lot to me," Alicia replied, feeling somewhat relieved. Alicia faced yet another public humiliation by Mrs. Lipton, which would be the spark for significant changes. During a team meeting, the tension between Alicia and the manager reached its peak. "I don't like you, Alicia, and it's no secret to anyone," Mrs. Lipton declared loudly, to the shock of everyone present. The silence in the room was immediate, and everyone realized the gravity of the racism Alicia had been facing. This moment was decisive. Alicia felt a mix of humiliation and indignation, but also relief, as now everyone knew the truth. "This is unacceptable," said a colleague aloud. "Something needs to be done," agreed another. The company could no longer ignore the situation. The intervention of Heather, the company leader, became inevitable. "This attitude is intolerable and does not represent our values," Heather stated in an emergency meeting. Mrs. Lipton's departure was announced 2 days later, bringing a positive change to the work environment. The news of Mrs. Lipton's departure was met with relief by everyone. "Finally, a necessary change," commented a colleague. "Now we can work in peace," said another. Alicia felt a huge weight lifted off her shoulders. "This is a new beginning for all of us," she thought, hopeful. She knew this was an opportunity to show even more of her potential. Then Alicia was promoted to project manager, leading the team with integrity and empathy. "Congratulations on the promotion, Alicia. You deserve it," said Heather, the company leader. "Thank you, Heather. I'm ready to give my best," Alicia replied, feeling motivated. Her new position was a recognition of her resilience and competence. Alicia established open communication with her team, encouraging collaboration and mutual respect. "Let's work together and support each other," she said in her first meeting as manager. "Count on us, Alicia," responded a team member, showing support. Her leadership transformed the work environment, making it more positive and productive. The challenges did not disappear, but Alicia now had the confidence and support needed to face them. Over time, Alicia began to see the results of her changes. "Our productivity has increased significantly," observed Mrs. Carter in a meeting. "This is thanks to teamwork and everyone's dedication," Alicia replied humbly. The promotion and change in leadership were a milestone in Alicia's career, demonstrating that despite adversities, success can be achieved through resilience and hard work. She knew her story inspired many and that there was still much to accomplish. "I'm just getting started," she said,